Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really important question for a lot of working parents out there. How do you even begin to make sense of all the different homeschooling rules across the U.S.? I mean, it can seriously feel like you need a law degree just to figure out where to start.
It really can.
Yeah.
And, as we think about supporting families through DreamClass, one of the very first hurdles we often see is just the sheer variability in state regulations.
Right.
While the right to homeschool is universal, pretty much the specifics of how you actually do it, that differs significantly. And that has real implications, especially for busy parents.
Exactly. For folks juggling careers and, thinking about homeschooling, time is just so precious. They need clear, sort of concise info, not wading through pages of legal jargon.
Definitely.
So our goal today, our mission, is really to explore the key regulatory landscapes in, several key states. We're drawing from a state homeschooling requirements guide to try and offer some clarity.
Okay.
We want to empower parents to make informed decisions. And frankly, from our perspective here at DreamClass, understand how we can best support them through that process.
Absolutely. And understanding why these state laws matter is, I think, foundational. It's not just about, ticking boxes to avoid legal trouble, though that's important too.
Sure.
The level of regulation in a state can shape, everything. From the flexibility you have in choosing curriculum to how you track your child's progress, and ultimately, how a tool like DreamClass can actually assist you in those specific areas.
Okay, let's dive into some specifics then. Starting with Texas. Texas often comes up as having a very light touch when it comes to homeschooling. What does that really mean for parents on the ground? And, how could DreamClass fit into that picture?
Yeah, Texas is definitely one of those flexible states. The guide we looked at highlights that there's no state registration required, no mandated testing, no evaluations.
Wow.
The core requirement is simply following a written curriculum. And that can be secular, religious, tailored however you want, pretty much. This unmatched freedom, as the guide puts it, can be a huge benefit for working parents who really value autonomy and, let's face it, want to minimize that administrative overhead.
Right, less paperwork is always good. So in a state like Texas, where the state requirements are so minimal, how can something like DreamClass still be, a valuable tool for those families?
That's a great question, because even with maximum freedom, organization is still key, right? Especially if you're juggling work. DreamClass can really help Texas families by providing a structured platform. You can use it to plan and track whatever curriculum you've chosen, document learning activities, maintain any records you personally think are important, even if the state doesn't actually mandate them.
Ah, I see.
It's really about bringing your own sense of order to that freedom, making it manageable.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, now let's pivot a bit. Let's look at Florida. Our guide describes Florida as kind of balancing oversight and autonomy. What's the regulatory picture there, and how can DreamClass help families navigate that specific setup?
So Florida has a few more requirements than Texas. Parents there need to notify their local school district about their intent to homeschool. That's step one.
Okay.
They also need to provide an annual evaluation of their child's progress. But they still get to select their own curriculum, and there are some really robust virtual options available, like Florida Virtual School or FLVS.
Right, I've heard that.
Yeah, it's quite popular. So this blend, this mix of some oversight but still a lot of flexibility, appeals to many families.
So with those extra steps in Florida, the notification, the evaluation, how can DreamClass sort of streamline things for working parents there, make it less hassle?
Well, DreamClass can directly support Florida's requirements. It has features. For example, it helps organize documentation for that annual evaluation, whether you choose to do a portfolio review or use standardized test results.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, moving north a bit to North Carolina. The guide points to a more structured approach there. What are the key differences in North Carolina, and how could DreamClass address those specific needs?
North Carolina definitely has more detailed regulations. Parents have to file what's called a notice of intent. They also need to maintain attendance records and immunization records.
Oh, okay. Attendance and immunization.
Yes. And on top of that, conduct annual standardized testing for their child. So it necessitates, more diligent record keeping and really sticking to specific timelines.
Yeah, for a working parent in North Carolina, that honestly sounds like quite a bit to manage on top of everything else. How can DreamClass maybe alleviate some of that burden?
Well, DreamClass is actually, I'd say, ideally suited for a structured environment like North Carolina's. Its features for tracking attendance and just organizing all the required documentation in one place. That can be a significant asset for busy parents. It really helps ensure they stay compliant without feeling totally overwhelmed by all the administrative details.
Makes sense. Okay, let's jump across the country now to California. Our guide mentions multiple legal pathways for homeschooling there. That sounds potentially confusing. How can DreamClass support families trying to navigate that kind of complexity?
Yeah, California is unique with its multiple pathways. You can, for instance, file a private school affidavit, essentially establishing your homeschool as a private school. Or you could enroll your child in an established private or public school independent study program, a PSP.
Right.
Each route has slightly different requirements, often involving specific documentation and reporting expectations. And like other states, online programs like K-12 Online or Connections Academy are also popular options families might use.
So with these different options available in California, how does DreamClass help parents stay on track, regardless of which path they decide is best for them?
Well, DreamClass can act as a really flexible organizational tool. It allows parents to sort of customize their record keeping based on the specific pathway they've chosen.
Okay. Adaptable.
Exactly. So whether you need to track attendance days because you filed that private school affidavit or you're managing assignments within an independent study program, DreamClass provides that central platform.
Okay. And our guide also gives us a quick snapshot of a few other states like Georgia, Virginia, New York, highlighting really a continued spectrum of regulations. It just seems to underscore that point. Research is absolutely key.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You really have to know the specifics for your state. In Georgia, for example, they have requirements like an annual declaration of intent and tracking a certain number of instructional days. In Virginia, you might need proof of parental education background and yearly evaluations. And even in a, more regulated state like New York, often considered one of the most regulated family,
Right.
DreamClass can still assist just by providing a structured framework for documentation and tracking progress.
Sounds adaptable. And as we've kind of touched on, these online programs seem to be a common thread across many states, often helping families meet those legal requirements.
Yes, definitely. Programs like the Texas Virtual School Network, FLVS in Florida, which we mentioned, K-12 Online, Connections Academy. They often provide structured curricula, and sometimes they might even handle some aspects of the state reporting for you.
Okay.
DreamClass can really complement these programs. It offers a space for parents to add in their own supplemental learning activities, field trips, whatever else they're doing.
Right, kind of bringing it all together.
Exactly.
Now, beyond the legal stuff and the curriculum, the guide also stresses something else. The importance of local support networks.
That's a really important point. While DreamClass itself isn't, a social networking platform like Facebook, its communication features can certainly help facilitate connections within local homeschool groups.
How so?
Well, parents could potentially use it to generally keep in touch with other homeschooling families in their area if the group adopts it. And thinking about school managers and administrators.
Yes.
If they're considering how to support homeschooling families in their district, understanding these local networks is crucial. And potentially providing resources or even communication channels through a platform like DreamClass could be really valuable. Building bridges, perhaps.
That's a very interesting point, thinking about how schools and platforms like DreamClass might actually bridge that gap, support the broader homeschooling ecosystem. Okay, one more practical scenario. What about families who move states mid-year? That sounds like a potential headache.
Oh yeah, moving mid-year definitely requires careful attention to record keeping. Maintaining clear attendance logs, keeping samples of work, having transcripts, if applicable, that's all crucial. And DreamClass can be absolutely invaluable here. It provides that centralized, organized, and easily transferable record of the child's entire learning journey up to that point.
So you can just take it with you digitally.
Exactly. When families move, they can quickly access and share this information with the new state's homeschooling authorities. And then they can use DreamClass to immediately start adapting to the new state's specific requirements.
So it really does seem like having a tool, something like DreamClass, can provide that central, organized approach that working parents especially need to confidently navigate this, really diverse regulatory landscape.
Exactly. Whether you're dealing with the wide-open flexibility of Texas, the more balanced approach in Florida, the structure of North Carolina, or the multiple pathways in California, DreamClass is designed to adapt. It provides the organizational backbone that working parents often need to homeschool successfully and, importantly, meet their state's requirements without pulling their hair out.
Right. It really just boils down to understanding the rules of the road in your specific state. And while that might seem complex, maybe even overwhelming initially, there are resources and tools like DreamClass available to help working parents navigate those specifics with hopefully greater ease and confidence.
Absolutely. DreamClass can really be that partner in organizing and managing the whole homeschooling process. It lets parents focus more on what truly matters, their child's education.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, it really prompts, I think, an important question, particularly for school managers and administrators listening. With the increasing number of working parents choosing diverse educational paths like homeschooling, how can schools leverage technology and innovative platforms to better understand, support, and perhaps even collaborate with these families? It's a landscape that's clearly evolving, right? And finding ways to connect and provide resources seems more important than ever. Thanks for exploring all this with us today.